Alright, I just want to start this video off by saying, how the hell does something so cute turn into something this ugly? Like, yo, like what? Like, bro, like, dude, like, have you ever watched Alien vs. Predator? This is what happens when aliens abduct your child and then raise it to become this evil force of destruction. No, seriously, this isn't evil squid, cute little Finding Nemo thingy, and then it turns into this thing. Ew, like, ew. Welcome to Malamar. Not exactly the most cosmetically attractive Pokemon in the world. You've probably seen it when you played Generation 6. You were surfing across it and you wanted to run away because it was ugly. This thing is, yeah, it's, God. No, seriously though, like, what? What? Like, 50 candy to turn into this? I might as well keep it like this because this is, okay, enough of me, like, branding. Anyways, Malamar is actually a really interesting Pokemon. So, despite it looking like it wants to take your soul, it's scheming, dude is sus AF. He's actually it's actually really good. So, Malmar is a Dark and Psychic type. Now, this is a really interesting typing, because with that typing, it has 2 weaknesses and literally 1 resistance. In other words, it's really interesting. Very strange. Very interesting, very strange. So it's this unique typing that really makes Malamar that kind of, like, it's really good. So, yes, you're weak to Bug and Fairy. However, that means you just really have to watch out for Charmers. And unless it's like Megahorn or X-Scissor, you don't really have to worry much about Malamar's weaknesses. And the thing about Malamar is it's also pretty bulky. As you see here, it has a high stamina, high defense product. Because of that, it's a pretty bulky mon. So this is what makes Malamar really interesting. Not only does it sport a very bulky stat set, and also few weaknesses, and you pretty much like resist confusion users to death, you also have a really great moveset. Psycho Cut allows you to generate energy quickly. Foul Play is a monster of a move, does heavy damage, and it also has superpower. So with superpower, fighting is just a really great coverage move in general, and with superpower and Psycho Cut, you can generate in back-to-back super cuts and foul plays very quickly. Because of that, Malamar is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous mon. It's evil, it's complexive and sinister, and it's really it looks to be really good. When I was first looking at it, I was like, wow, this thing's actually pretty dang good. Anything with Psycho Cut generates energy quickly. However, you don't find many Pokemon with that stat pool, as well as these weaknesses. It's a very neutral and very interesting Pokemon indeed for Go Battle League. Costs 50k to second move. If you want to max out to level 40, you can. It's Ultra Premier. It looks really good for like not just Ultra Premier, but also Ultra League. As long as you can block the Mega Horn, like Open Ultra League, as long as you can block the Mega Horn, Foul Play can put a lot of pressure on your opponent. And Superpower. That moveset combination puts a ton of pressure on your opponent. Like I said, max out at level 40, so you can use it best used in Great League or Ultra Premier. And also you can level up to level 50. So this is what makes Malamar just really interesting. Very interesting Pokemon. Now it does kind of like anything you're powered up to 40 is going to cost quite a bit of dust, so it's be a little expensive. But other than that, this thing's a beast. So Malamar is going to go to town in Go Battle League once it gets released, and it just like, yeah, it's really good. Alright, so like as usual, we're just going to analyze every Pokemon from the one shield. I could do multiple shield scenarios, but until like the actual PvP poke ranks come out, like I can't really gauge just how good Pokemon are. And they're also going to come out in waves, so this is assuming if the Pokemon came out now. So Malamar, as you see here, Malamar does pretty well in the one shield. Now, of course, you have to avoid Charmers and also things that deal heavy damage. This is Great League, by the way. So Azumarill, etc. You beat Bombasnow, you beat Cresselia, you even beat Deoxys D. This one's very IV dependent, as you see here. You beat Ferrothorn, you beat Haunter, Hypno, well, because of the dark typing, you're actually, like, as you see, you have very strong matchup against water. Again, I mean, not against water. Well, that Lapras is a water type. But against, like, psychic types and ghost types. So, the dark typing gives you a very strong matchup against it. As you see, you're also able to beat Lapras. With Lapras, superpower hurts. So, as you see here, you bait superpower, and it doesn't quite kill, and you still get to another foul play. So, it's just, it's really nuts how powerful Malamar is. Especially since superpower doesn't get stabbed. But as you see here, decent amount of damage. You also beat Melmetal. You do lose against a variety of really interesting mons, like Mandibuzz, Machamp, etc. Also, Alola Marowak, just because those Shadow Balls are going... Well, Alola Marowak just hurt. So it looks like even though you have a decent amount of bulk, it looks like in Great League, it looks like Malamar isn't like the best thing in the world, just because... Well, this is just the keep in mind, this is the 1 shield too. So I'm pretty sure in the 2 shield things do improve. For example, here's the 1 shield. You beat Obstagoon, Registeel, etc. You also beat Scrafty, which is kind of interesting. Well, you just superpower to death because Scrafty is weak to fighting. So you're going to shield and then superpowers, as you see here, pop, superpower. So superpower does heavy damage. And you also beat G-Fisk. Well, with G-Fisk, yeah, well, you also beat G-Fisk. I don't know if this is bait dependent, but like, I think you should have a pretty comfortable matchup. Foul play, double superpower. Yep, foul play, double superpower. You just have to watch out for that Earthquake, but you could still shield the Rock Slide, and as you see here, you will never get to an Earthquake before you take it out. So Malamar is really interesting. Takes out a lot of top meta picks, and also has a lot of play in like some scenarios. It does have a lot of losses, like you lose against Mantine, Mandibuzz. Well, this is other dark types, so ironically, other dark types and things that do resist confusion will actually get you, and things that have a heavy pacing or do heavy damage, like Vigoroth, they do beat you. So just be really careful. Be mindful that, yeah, just be really careful and mindful that they're there. Malamar can win some scenarios. As you see here, you win in the zeros versus Vigoroth, but like I said, very, very, very situational. Very situational. So just be very mindful of that. So then, this is Great League. Now here's Ultra League. As you see, I'm already going to run the Run Shield here. As you see right here, I'm going to see, as you see, I already ran the 1 shield. Now, Ultra League's where Malamar actually becomes, like, it's probably in its best, like, area. Ultra League and Ultra Premier, you can max it out and use a level 50. So, as you see here, I have a level 51. I also have a level 40 variation. So, level 40 and level 50. So, both of them, that way you can see the difference, because level 50 does matter. As you see here, you're able to beat Shadow Bomba with the level 51 and the 1s. You do, Malamar has bulk, but, like, there are things that will outpay, like, deal a lot of damage. For example, Charizard, Clefable, anything I guess that does out-damage you, you have to be careful. This is Open Ultra, so in Open Ultra, you're actually able to beat both versions of Giratina pretty convincingly. So, you're also able to beat Giratina O with the level 50 version in the 1 shield. You're also able to beat Machamp, you beat Melmetal, you also beat Armor Mewtwo. You do lose against Alolan Luck because, like what I mentioned before, like other Psychic types or like other Dark types do have a strong matchup against you. And as you see here, you also, like, it's really weird for Malamar. As you see here, this is Open Ultra. This is Ultra Premier. In Ultra Premier, things get a little better. As you see, it's the same thing. So Malamar is probably best used in Ultra Premier. But like I said, this is the 1 shield. So, you lose against Ampharos, Charizard, Clefable, basically Charmers, things that deal heavy damage, like Empoleon, Excavalier, Lapras. I'm thinking this is mainly due to, like, if you look at the sheer amount of damage, well, that's level 40. So, as you see here, Empoleon chunks. So, even though you do have a decent amount of stamina, as you see here in the stat pool, there are some Pokemon that just deal an obscene amount of damage, and it's no stranger that Hydro Cannon does. As you see here, you'll leave it and you're dead, but they will get to the second Hydro Cannon, and that will KO. So I'm thinking it's really just like finishing power. That's really what Malamar. But then again, this is the 1 shield. Different scenarios, flip with the 1s and the 2s, and Excavalier. So you have to really, Malamar is difficult to play. As you see here, you beat Galade, you beat Shadow Executor, you beat Kingdra, you beat Gengar. This is all the 1 shield too. Like I said, once the official rankings come out, then we can do a lot better of a deep dive into it. But as you see here, things that seem to outpace you or do a ton of damage, like Swamperts, etc., do actually outpace you because those foul plays don't do as much as those Hydro Cannons. As you see, you do 60 damage with Hydro Cannon, with Swampert, 70. And it just has so much, like, stopping power with Hydro Cannon. Because Hydro Cannon also costs less energy. So, like I said, Malamar is looking good. Like, it's not overly dominant, but it's good, but, like, you really need to know your scenarios. Like, there are, like, for example, here's the one shield, this is the one shield. If you flip the script around and you gave it, like, 2 shields, I'm pretty sure things would be different. So, till, like I said, the full analysis or the full data comes out, like, I'm not going to be able to, like, give you a super accurate analysis, but this is a good idea. As you see in the 2 shield, Malamar is very powerful. As long as you avoid heavy damaging moves, and you can avoid things like dark types, as well as things that, like, Swampert, etc. So, it can be, in the 2 shield, it's very strong. So Malamar can be a very powerful lead, but like I said, until like the actual data comes out, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. Makes it so Malamar's like I said, Malamar is really interesting. I'm gonna have to see the full data to really see how you can play Malamar. But Psycho Cut generates energy quickly, Foul Play does a decent chunk of damage, and with Superpower you can create a lot of plays. And its stat spread is really decent. There are better things out there as far as like bulk, etc. So that's why Malamar loses to things like Swampert, because there's like because Swampert has Hydro Cannon. You're not going to beat out a lot of Community Day Mons just because they do so much damage, but you can create a lot of plays, also things that like resist Superpower, etc. And because Malamar doesn't have the highest attack, it's going to lose CMP against some pivotal Mons, but just to put it out here, like Psycho Cut, as you see here, Malamar has it, and also Doublade and Aegis Slash. So other than, like, that's what makes Malamar really interesting, is because Psycho Cut. Psycho Cut generates 9 energy a turn. It's like a Mudshot clone, so because of that, it's very good. And like I said, in the 2 shield scenario, it can actually be really good. Malamar has few weaknesses, like only 1 resistance, but if you do get a Psychic locked into Malamar, it's gonna have a really good time. So like I said, Malamar is a very interesting Mon in multiple scenarios, but until I get the full data, I can't really give like a super accurate assessment on it. So Malamar, I give it 7 out of 10. I can't, like, it's a really interesting Mon because it doesn't have a lot of resistances, but because its inability to, like, out-DPS some Pokemons, that's why it lose. That's why it will lose. So it's, like, it's really interesting. As you see, we're gonna pop the multi-battle. We're gonna do Ultra League just because Malamar's best in Ultra League, and we're just gonna, like, run like a sim. So, like, we'll run the 2 shield. As you see in the 2 shield Malamar, this is what happens when you have a maxed out Malamar. As you see, it's not bad. 62% is actually pretty dang good. Like, it's not super overpowering, but it's, like, really good. But once it drops shields, that's when things get interesting. So, Malamar has a very unique typing because of that. It's able to resist Psychic types very heavily, and it has very few weaknesses. As you see here, in the 1 shield, it still picks up 60% of wins, which is pretty, like I said, pretty dang good. The ironic thing is other dark types can beat Malamar just because they can output more DPS, and like I said, Malamar doesn't exactly have the highest attack in the world. Because of that, that's what kind of gives it a little bit of a problem. As you see here, you beat a lot of matchups with Malamar, very interesting matchups. You're even able to beat things like Swampert, etc. But like, it's very, I think it would, because you generate energy quickly, and the fast move Psycho Cut generates energy quickly, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. You're gonna have to do a lot of, you're gonna have to be a little fancy when it comes to like, yeah, you're gonna have to be a little fancy, just a little fancy. As you see here, once you get it level 50, things kind of change. So once you maximize it to level 50, you can use a Malamar with level 50. 315, 15 is number 1. As you see, if we generate that, 73%. So level 50 Malamar is dangerous. Level 50 Malamar is actually, like, I think that's what makes it really interesting. Malamar is one of those candidates for level 50, and as you see, a 60, from 60% to 73 is a huge improvement. So look out for Malamar at level 50, because at the perfect IV spread, like I said, at 315-15, as you see here, it can get to level 50 and you can use it. Obviously, you won't see these things flying around everywhere, but like I said, it's really, like, Malamar looks to be a Mon that takes a decent amount of skill to use, and it's also, you need to know its matchup. So it's a difficult to play, but really good typing, good overall stats, but you really need to know what you're doing when it comes to Malamar. Other than that, it's going to serve you well in Go Battle League. If you really do like this evil jellyfish, like, squiddy thingy, there you go. It's actually, it looks to be, the reason I say can is because, like I said, until I get all the data, I can't tell if Malamar is going to be like a beast, but, like, judging by now, it can be a beast. It's very likely going to be a beast, but we'll see once it actually comes out and we get, like, an accurate, like, data assessment of it, because this gives you a good idea against the current meta. Metas will shift when more Pokemon come out, so we'll see what happens. Anyways, you guys have a great day. If you guys like this video, please like and sub. And please like and subscribe. Like I said, Malamar looks to be pretty dang good, but a little difficult to play. You really need to know what you're doing with it. So, if you really like Malamar, good news. It's going to do you really good, and it's going to do you really well in Go Battle League. Looks to be really well. At first look, it looks really well. So I will see you guys on the next video. Hopefully we get to see more mods like Malamar that really take advantage of being level 50 and can be really, really good for Pokemon Go PvP.